And I believe we are live.
All right, cool. Wait, come join so we can do like our intro.
Right.
Whoa.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about that. You know what I mean? We're all here together.
Right.
We're all here together. Oh wait. Do you want to? We should have Jacob in the middle. I feel.
Yeah, Jacob. Jacob, you sit
in the
You're
middle.
honored guest.
Wow.
You get to sit in the middle.
I never thought this day would come.
So yeah, pressure's on, buddy.
Jacob, you have to give yourself a proper introduction since the only time you were actually on the podcast was, I think it was when you visited us. You showed up, like right when you got back from the airport, said hello in like
in
the
LA,
end of
right?
the episode.
Yeah.
While we were doing audio only.
Right.
Damn.
So nobody's even.
We gotta
seen
go
your
back.
face.
That's true.
We gotta go far back in time.
I think it's episode 8.
I'm an
I
Easter
remember.
egg on Starbound.
You are an Easter egg. We were hinting you in the beginning.
Very end. Only people watch to the end of the episode would know I
Exactly.
exist.
That's true.
I believe it's called episode 8, Crusades and Escapades. And the reason I remember that is because it was the first thumbnail that I did a little collage for. And it was us covering, well, actually...
That's a great plug, by the way. I like how you just
Or it
plugged
was
our
the end of
episode.
episode 7 and we reflected on the trip in 8. Anyway, if you're curious
that's a
about
good point.
Jacob's
Which one did we
first
do?
appearance on the podcast, it is extremely...
Yeah, it's a fantastic episode. Please go check
find
it
it,
out.
so go find
Came in at the very end, said hi, and then cut the tape.
Yeah, now we here at hold on, let me
Episode-
run this in.
Oh, yeah, say it.
Welcome back to Starbound
forgot that
episode 50?
I think it's 50. Last episode, we were like, oh yeah, we have 2 more to go. But I'm pretty sure this is like 3. And then the next 2 are 2-1. 51.
I don't know, man. I feel like we're going to find a hidden episode somewhere. We're going to be like, damn, we actually just did like 54 instead of 53.
If that's the case, then sorry that we got your hopes up for an extra. But we're going to
I
52.
apologize.
Okay? The one that says 52 is going to be the last one.
Yeah.
Full year
Whenever the 52 is, that's where we are. But yeah, this is episode 50. Oh yeah,
So,
cheers.
It is the holiday
Let's do a
season,
toast.
so cheers to the holidays.
Cheers to the holidays. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Merry Christmas.
It could be happy or merry.
Just be happy. I don't know. Find something good in your life and appreciate that or something. Man.
Joyous Christmas.
How about
Jubilant Christmas.
Merry Kwanzaa?
There you go.
As like all 3.
I don't know why, but I actually really love the way that rolled off the tongue. Merry Kwanzaa.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a bunch of other religions and holidays we have to include in there too.
Have you ever met anyone that actually celebrates Kwanzaa?
I'm sure I've met them, but I don't think
They
I've
keep
had
it a
an
secret?
extended like conversation about Kwanzaa. Nor have I been to a household where Kwanzaa activities are going down like during.
I have never seen. I know. Like it comes from like it's like an African American tradition, but I've never seen anyone actually celebrate it.
What about you? You've been to a Kwanzaa household?
No.
Not
Well,
too much.
if you're out there and you celebrate Kwanzaa, please let Sean and I know, and we
Yeah,
will-
let us know. I want to know like how y'all get down with it. Really, like what's the traditions? What's the celebrations? What are we doing? I know you guys also have like your own candle setup thing. What's the story around that? I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Anyway, how everyone's holidays? I feel weird about this holiday, so
Yeah.
I'll share mine last.
So now we get to
but-
Okay.
reflect on it. You want to start?
Yeah, I can go first. I flew in last night from Houston.
Let's
I was
go.
there from New York with my girlfriend. We were doing a lot of family time, gift exchanges and stuff. My family, we don't do too much gift exchanging, so like it was kind of like they do a lot of gift exchanging, so it was kind of a new flashback to that.
That type of lifestyle.
Yeah, which is fun. It's fun to do that. It's fun to be Santa.
Okay. No, I just got confused because you said my family,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't sure.
Oh yeah.
I was really confused for a second.
Is that an offensive joke to make?
It wasn't
No,
a joke.
it's
I
common
genuinely was confused.
misunderstanding, Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, just names and names.
Names,
Confusion. Yeah.
Names and confusion.
But it was
That
nice.
sounds nice.
Yeah.
So you got to exchange. Did you do like a white elephant with the whole
Kind of.
family?
We did white elephants with both sides of the family. We did like gifts, one-on-one gifts for like members of the nuclear family.
What'd you get?
I got headphones and I
Ooh.
got a board game that we can
Nice.
try out. It's called Cosmic Encounter. I was telling you guys.
Yes.
We're fresh off the heels of Whitetail Resort,
Right. Whitehall Mystery.
Whitehall Mystery. Is it not
Whitehall
Resort?
Mystery?
It's just a mystery. There's no resort.
I would. That's the.
It would
that's
have been
the
nicer for me if there
addition.
was a
Yeah, it'd be nice
resort.
if
There's a
all of
resort. You mean that
Anyway.
game that we just played?
Yeah, there's
It's
no
sort of a
resort.
little personal to Sean since he's British, but like,
What?
yeah, Sean was having traumatic flashbacks. Like, how dare you bring up the Jack the Ripper in this?
I was going through mad PTSD. I was like, damn.
Right.
My great grandfather was fighting Jack the Ripper
Really?
once in an alleyway. No.
Oh shit!
Not
Oh, did he have you for a second?
He had me for a sec.
Wait,
I was like, that's why you were so good at
no,
That's
my
why-
B. Yeah,
catching me.
no.
No wonder you caught me. I was Jack the Ripper. They caught me.
He was
It
Jack the
happened,
Ripper.
I
It was
trying to get away
intense.
with my murders, but
It was intense.
this is a gift I got Kevin
Yeah.
a couple years ago for Christmas.
And we played.
Yeah.
I think it was around I think it might have been on New Year's Eve.
I think so with
like,
William and our friends.
2 years ago. I don't think it was last year.
No, it was a couple. It was a couple years ago. I
Yeah,
think.
no, it's 2
Sheesh.
years ago. Yeah.
Been a
Yeah.
minute.
Time flies. You know, so we went on a trip in 2020, early like May, to
What?
I think it was May to Tara's
Us three,
cottage.
us three.
Right. So
Ah! I'm sorry.
it's wild because that was I think it was 2020. It was like May 2020.
Yeah.
And
That
Was
was
it?
a
Yeah.
yeah,
legendary
'cause it
trip.
was like during COVID or something. So we
Was
were
it was
it?
during COVID.
so we were
Ah.
able to get out and have a secluded
No, I think it was
vacation.
2021 then, wasn't it?
No,
I think
Wait.
it was
Oh,
May of which one? It couldn't have been May of 2020
I
because
think it's
that's when
2021.
COVID started.
Yeah, I
That's when
think
COVID
it's
got really
2021.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're. Ooh, wait.
I remember I got back from spring break and then it was like, oh,
Right.
COVID like hit me right when I got back.
I was gonna say it was either right before
2021.
2021.
2021.
2021.
Yeah, yeah.
It's when you started. You were doing like a summer class.
Yeah, that would be summer, right?
It was virtual. That's why I thought it might have been like.
Was it while I was in LA with like Justice and
You
Lauren
were
and
in
those
LA
guys?
already.
Like, did I fly to Maryland and then we went on our trip? Yeah, I think we did. I was in LA at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 2021.
Okay.
2021 for
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Problem solved. Anyway, 2 years ago. Yeah, that's not as crazy as 3 years ago. I was gonna say that would be, but it's like 2.5 years ago.
That was a legendary trip.
It
dude.
was
And
legendary. I still feel the effects of like that trip.
the
after
residual
fact.
inspiration.
Yeah.
got that Airbnb.
Yeah.
Got to do some piano making. Some.
I just went on a trip actually, and maybe I talked about this last episode. I went up to Yosemite and saw like a lot of the beauty there, and
Oh,
I was
yeah?
hanging out with some people.
Who'd you go with?
I went with this woman named Nina, who I might have mentioned in the beginning of this podcast history, and then Kayla, who is also a good friend of mine. They're both Malaysians.
Nina. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Malaysians. You know what I mean?
Right. I
The
forgot that
Malaysians.
she was in town for an extended period of time.
She was
or
in
for the
town
holidays?
for like maybe 10 days, 12 days, something like
Oh,
that.
nice. That's
So,
great. You got to
We got to hang out, take a trip, hang out some more.
Lauren was there too.
Everybody's doing
Lauren
well. I
was
hope.
also there. Everyone's doing. You know, these trips tend to come up whenever some of us are going through things and we just need to escape.
So who was escaping?
Q escaped the Pina Colada song.
A lot of us were escaping
Classic.
from a lot of different things. I think just for Nina on her end, you know, she has her whole career that she's doing in Malaysia, and some of the negative effects of that career were starting to get to her. Because
Is she
she's
in
a
the
very
film
public.
industry?
Huh?
Is she in the film industry or no?
Yeah, she's an actress over there, and so you know, she's a public figure,
Yeah.
and so the downsides of that was definitely affecting her. So she was like, "All right, I need to take like a vacation. Just need to see some like mountains, maybe some bears or something, and I'll be
Like she's been
good."
caught up in
Oh,
the
my.
clout fame thing or something.
Yeah, a lot of the nasty. So you know, there's a little bit of there's a politics game, there's a star power game, there's a celebrity game, there's you with the regular population and the opinion game. All those games.
Reputation.
It's a reputation game. It was getting to her.
It's
really
just
bad.
like, man, that's so much more than you'd expect. Like movie fame. That's what I
Yeah,
started realizing out
it's-
there. Like when you
it's
see like a
bad.
celebrity on the street.
And it's not even just that
And they,
either.
like-
It's the political game. Because another thing
Yeah.
that happened was we were at I think we were doing a tour at Warner Brothers, right? The little Warner Brothers tour, and it was great. And we were all very happy about it. And she was so happy about it, she wanted to make a post about it. Just like, hey, look, I'm at the Warner Brothers tour, checking out all these cool filming locations, yada, da, da, da. And then somehow, in the comment section, it went from just like a chill, she's on holiday, checking out the tour to, Warner Brothers is a company in America. America is pro-Israel and the Israel-Palestine conflict. What is she trying to say about, the conflict that's happening over there? And I was like, wait, it was getting out of control. So then she had to shut down the whole post and just not share her experience.
She's like, "Can I have my Mickey Mouse ears, please?"
It was
crying. It was like,
it was.
dang,
I felt
man.
so bad because I know for her it came from such an honest place of just like, this is something that I really enjoyed and I wanted to share it with the people online.
It sounds like she's trying to enjoy her vacation, and then she had to deal with the ramifications of being famous.
Right. It's like, well, okay, whenever you show up anywhere, that means something.
Yeah.
Good, bad, whatever. It means something.
Well, anything you do, right? I mean, like, that's the thing. So, like, you'll be walking around LA, spot celebrity, which happened to me, like, twice. The two celebrities I thought I saw were Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil for a moment, and
so cool. I wanna see
Huey
him.
from The Boys, Jack Quaid.
He probably is around the block, too.
Now, I'm not sure if it was them, but I'm pretty sure it was. Because I didn't, like, stop by to say hello to them or anything. Because I was just like, they're getting enough attention. But, like, that's when it started to hit me. I'm like, if you're somebody that star power, that famous, every single time you go out of the house in Los Angeles is a performance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have, like, a flawless...
People are looking at you. You need to look pretty all the time. There's a lot that goes into it.
A lot of pressure.
So when she goes on there and does the live, like, she's putting on a performance of this famous person who doesn't necessarily accurately reflect who she is as an individual, right?
And it's funny because even if you are your rawest self online, it's still a performance.
Exactly.
People are still judging it like, okay, why'd you do it like this? Yada, yada.
There's the bias of the camera right there.
Exactly.
So even though we try to be as real as possible here on the podcast,
I think we're pretty raw.
We try our best, but it's like nobody can be. It's like inherent bias. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do about that?
There's you, the person, when you're not being watched. And there's you when you are being watched, and there's just always going to be like a slight difference in that.
Yeah.
So
it's tricky.
Yeah. So I felt bad about that, but either way, it didn't matter because like we got to get on this cool vacation to Yosemite. We kind of, because there's not a lot of internet or Wi-Fi up there, we could really just like enjoy it
escape to nature
for what it was.
That's
escape
like
into nature.
Yeah.
I was like, there was a lot of similarities. The only thing that was different was like, dang, I wish we could all make music right now.
So you were having flashbacks?
I was getting a lot of flashbacks to like
nature or something?
Yeah, it was the nature. It was the fact that we were doing it as kind of escapism.
Yeah.
We were doing some hikes. I was like, damn, the one element missing in this is that we come home and then we crank out some like creative
that was amazing.
music, videos, whatever, interviews, you know what I mean? And then we would wrap up the night. It's like, dang, that's...
So what would you do at night? You would just kind of come back chill?
At night, we'd come back, we'd decompress. Maybe I would be on the barbecue making some burgers and hot dogs, which...
Oh, yeah?
Barbecuing is a craft, man. I'm not gonna lie. I want to like go to Texas and like escape and then learn like the crafts of the barbecue. Because those Texans know how to do it right.
Stop buying
There's good barbecue.
There's a real science to it. It was maybe my second time ever barbecuing anything. And I was like, wow. I mean, they came out solid because I still got like a chef's intuition, but I know I could have made it like so much better.
Dude, speaking of food.
Word.
We talked about, and making food.
Word.
Because we made the fried chicken cornflake sandwiches a bunch of times.
Yeah, little chicken sandwiches.
And that led us to the conversation about the Popeyes turkey bread thing, which my dad ended up trying it. His friend got some.
What?
Yeah.
No.
So he ate
No.
no.
You said the Popeyes turkey.
You can ask him about it. Yeah. He
No
got it. Yeah.
way.
The
The legend.
Yeah. So he got like a whole turkey leg.
How is it?
He said it was fire.
It's kind of expensive, right?
There's not that many of them. So, like, they put, I guess, like, good ingredients in, and they do the whole shebang, and, like, yeah, he was a fan. He said he'd do it again.
Kevin, you know how crazy it is that I was literally hunting for it this
I know.
past Thanksgiving, and he's just like, oh, yeah, I tried that.
I think we talked about it on the last episode of the podcast.
It's super rare. They only do it during that Thanksgiving season, and there's only so many of them available.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
but he said it was good. I didn't get to try it, but I'd hope so.
Dude, next year we're going to try it, bro. I swear to God.
What's our favorite holiday season drink or food?
Before you get to that, I want to know what you were escaping from, if you were escaping from anything on this Yosemite trip.
That's a spicy question. What was I escaping from?
Because you said everyone was escaping. You know, your friend. Your
Everyone was
actress friend
escaping
is
a little
escaping
something. Nina was escaping from the media. I feel like certain things that were happening in Kayla's personal, like, social circles that she needed to escape from.
Like friend stuff or romantic stuff?
Friend stuff.
Yeah.
Friend stuff. Friend relationships got kind of complicated back then. She's like, I definitely need a break from that. Me personally, though, man, what am I willing to share? That's the real question. What I'm willing to share.
Sean,
I know we're trying to keep it raw, keep it a beam,
50.
but like, I don't know, escape from.
Can paint in broad strokes.
But then if Sean goes,
Let me see how I can paint it. I feel like, you know, we can get into this more as the pod goes on, but you know, as you may or may not know, recently I've been living alone instead of with Kevin for the past 6 months or something like that.
So more space, but less chatter.
And you know what's funny? I need to escape from that. I need to escape from being alone. That's really what it. That's what it was. I felt like
you got.
I felt like I was and this is something I just learned about recently. This could become this could be a whole topic, but I think I was going through this very specific type of like male depression, where it was like I was losing a lot of focus on what I wanted. I was doing well, like grades wise, like objectively, I was doing fantastic. You know, I was exercising more and everything, but I felt like something was missing in my life, and so I felt lost, even though I wasn't objectively lost. And so going on this trip was like, oh, I can escape from even thinking about that. I can just, you know, I have these girls here. They don't want to come across a bear. I can focus on like, all right, what happens if I come across a bear and I have to defend them? That's all I have to worry about. You know what I mean? So
You have your
that's what
you're wearing your sleeveless fur coat with your muscle.
Okay, hikey. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. We can talk even more about like the masculine fantasy of like you want something really like ferocious to come against you, and you're just like, you know, you're in like your tattered outfit, and you're like, yeah, I'll fight this thing.
The
like,
hat or the hood of the last bear you killed.
No, exactly. I got like the mounted mane of a lion on me. I'm like, oh yeah, this bear wants to take me on. All
Fresh
right,
off of performing in Broadway's
I'll
Run of
take
the
it
Lion
on.
King.
Don't worry about it. I got it. Fight it with one. I'll do an arm wrestling match with the bear or something and win. You know,
I was gonna
like
say,
that.
yeah, if I came across a bear, I'd probably challenge it to a game of rock paper scissors and start there and see how it went. Then if
I don't know.
lost,
They're clever though.
Because they can't even throw scissors probably. I just do like paper and it can't.
Right.
You'll win
Like,
automatic.
I don't think it can do that.
I'd be impressed if they could do rock.
Yeah.
Like if they just like.
Just clock you.
Yeah, like.
Bah!
Actually,
The
probably
worst
could do
I'm
that.
getting is a tie if I throw paper.
It's definitely a paper. Yeah,
Definitely
true.
paper.
True.
But they probably already know that, so they're gonna always put down like, oh, they don't want to lose.
Yeah, so if you come across
I'm
a bear,
okay with a stalemate, you know.
With a
So,
bear.
yeah.
stay still and shoot.
It also depends on the type of.
Scissors.
We're not gonna turn this into no Joe Rogan like bear conversation, but
We're just telling you how to beat a bear. And
there are different types of bears, and they require different types of handling.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And you should probably stay still and shoot scissors.
Worst case
Unless it's a
scenario,
grizzly bear. I think they're
take your
extremely
smaller friend, throw them first. The bear can't go for both.
I'm sure your friends that were on this trip with you would not appreciate that.
Oh no, not
Unless they were not the smallest friend.
not in that case. Not in that case. What if I was the smallest friend? That'd be terrible.
I don't think you gotta worry about that.
Damn, Jacob. He's right though. He's right. He's right.
You know, muscle mass. That's what I was talking about. You know?
Muscle mass. Muscle mass.
Nah.
But yeah, no, the trip was just a really nice way for all of us to escape our own personal issues and just to focus on something.
Were you like, when you say like it was a male sort of rut, what do you mean by that?
Okay, I just came across. Now, I'm no doctor, I'm no psychologist, and I'm definitely no psychiatrist. So take anything I say right now with a complete grain of salt. But, you know, I got kind of bored with macroeconomics. I kind of figured out how it worked on a main point. So then I was like, all right, let me start looking at these other things. I started looking into the mind and mindfulness and spirituality and connecting with yourself. And I came across in my searches and research that there's this idea of maybe men, because a lot of times you'll see a statistic of like 60% of people with depression are women, or 70% of people with depression tend to be women. And that doesn't necessarily mean that women are more likely to have depression. It could also mean that men express depression differently than women, right? And it's a bell curve. You know, you're going to have some men that maybe express it exactly like a woman, maybe some men that don't express it at all like how a woman does. But there was this idea that what if there's like this male depression where instead of just feeling sad, you feel really, really, you dissociate with yourself, right? Because I think a lot of times in masculinity, we don't have issues and then feel it and then think about it and then try to process it. We like to fix things. And so if we have an issue or we feel a type of way, we're like, all right, we're just going to fix the problem by like doing this. Oh, I don't get enough bitches. I just got to work out. Oh, I gotta, you know, I don't have enough friends. I gotta like, I don't know, pick up a new hobby or something. Where we try to like analyze it and fix it, but that doesn't necessarily solve the root emotion. So you'll still feel that, and so our male depression can be kind of, it can be subtle.
So what's the what if because one could argue that sometimes like when you're looking for a solution. To a depression or a depressed episode or something like that, then taking some sort of action, such as let me do some yoga, would be a solution, right? So like,
no, I see
what
what
would
you
one
mean.
do instead, right? Does it have to do with like sitting there with your emotions and coming to a, or like sometimes what's it called? When you work out, it releases endorphins. Is that what it is? And so then you also feel better. So like, how is that not a solution? Like, what is the solution?
Sometimes it doesn't fix the root, and because these are more focusing on like the root issue of like, okay, I feel a certain type of way and I want to combat it. That I think that works a little better than some of the more surface levels that a lot of different people tend to attack. Which again, let's just go back to like, I don't have a lot of friends, so I should go and like be out more or something like that, right? Just trying to have a problem, try to solve it. Sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes you just need to process, what am I feeling right now? Where is it coming from?
Oh, like asking why do I feel this way?
Exploring yourself. Because a lot of times as men, we will, instead of internalizing it and trying to solve, all right, who are we as a person? Like, why do I feel this way? We just think, let me do this external thing to fix the problem. Done.
Yeah.
Boom. But it doesn't always work like that.
So going on this trip though is an external thing. So
going on this trip is an external solution.
Was it time for you though to think internally because you were relaxed or something? Is that what
I wasn't even put on to this idea until I got back from LA to Maryland. Okay. I didn't even realize what I was going through until, and this is part of that whole thing about male depression. We don't even realize what we're feeling inside until it kind of boils up in a way that we don't understand. Right? Sorry,
I just want to make sure the thing's still going because my computer got...
Oh yeah, go ahead and check it. Make sure that this is high quality content right here. Are we still good?
You can stop this and then start a new one.
I'm gonna do this.
Just double check. Yeah.
No, I think it's still going. It's
still going.
Yeah,
all right,
you're gonna trim it anyway, right? So.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it didn't stop.
Make sure we're still
rolling. Did you all hear
rolling.
that too? How it got like hella quiet really quick.
I thought we were locked in. I was locked in.
So it records when its screensavers up.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it so seems, and it kept counting upwards. So.
Yeah.
And the red dot wasn't there, so it didn't say like record again. It was just like still recording.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. So we were in the midst of it. So you didn't think about this until you got back from the trip.
I didn't think about it till I got back. And what was happening to me personally was like I got back from Maryland, or I got back from LA to Maryland, and I just I didn't feel good about myself. So
it was like a few days ago.
Yeah, this is literally just like maybe 6 days ago. I'm still kind of dealing with it right now.
Had you been feeling had you been feeling in a rut in the moment this past semester, or
I've been feeling it. Okay, no, it hit me kind of. It hit me.
Or have you been feeling fine and then looking back?
The way that it felt was like I thought I was fine. I thought I was fine up until Up until like mid-November, pretty much exactly when Nina came, right? Something started changing in me, and I was like, okay, I can feel something is wrong, but I don't know what it is. So I just kind of like, pushed through it. I was like, whatever, man. Like, you know, a typical thing that we do as men sometimes is like, oh, we have this problem. Maybe if we just ignore it long enough, it'll go away, right?
So you're feeling fine.
I'm thinking I'm fine.
So it started in mid-November kind of thing?
Mid-November, I started noticing something was wrong, but I was like, I don't know what it is. And then as we approached December, I'm like, all right, something is definitely going on, but like, I can't point to anything physically in my life right now that could go wrong. Like, I just, you know, talking about celebrating that I have my green card. I'm at school. You know what I mean? I am meeting new people. Not all of those relationships are panning out the way that I want them to, but I do have that. You know, like, I'm working out. Like what could be wrong in my life where I feel this way? And then it was only until like 7 or 8 days ago where I started exploring like this idea of like male depression being a lot more subtle than just feeling sad. Like, I don't feel sad, but I feel like something is wrong.
I understand what you mean. Sometimes you're like, or sometimes I'm like chilling about my day, and I even might have had like a very productive day. I've gotten everything I needed to get done, whether it be personal or professional. And then I'm like, okay, that was satisfying. I got everything done, but something is off. Like, something either needs to be done or I need to do something differently. But I can't quite think of what I need to do to feel correct.
Yeah.
It's not even like bad per se. It's like something needs to happen. I'm not sure what. A lot of times that starts if I'm like, you know, sitting, just like getting up and, you know, going outside, doing whatever, exploring. But
that helps.
Yeah, doing a bunch of stuff.
I was even hearing that, like, I was talking about how, like, you know, external things aren't always going to solve the problem. But a lot of times what helps dudes out of their male depression is physicality. There's a part of us that is naturally physical. You know how, like, have you guys seen Fight Club? Yeah. Allegedly. I don't know what that movie is. But that movie. So the main antagonist, or the second protagonist, really, of that film, often says stuff like, oh, like, we need a war to prove ourselves as men, to like feel good about ourselves, but there's no war right now, and that's the problem. And I mean, it's, first of all, I'm not gonna side with whatever he says, because that's kind of, he's an extremist in the movie, but there's a certain aspect of that is coming from a truth, that masculinity can be tied to physicality, and a lot of times physicality can help us out of getting out of things, like working out or
playing a
sport, running, stuff like that.
I mean, I think also part of that is like you said, I mean, you have to start somewhere with the doing something to get you feeling better, and sometimes that's going to be a physical thing. If you're doing yoga and clearing your mind,
yoga feels great.
That might have a similar effect to playing soccer, clearing your mind, because you're in the moment, feeling these sort of almost natural, if you've done it a long time. But you have to stay focused on like a sport, right? Or working out.
There's also just like a physiological, like I feel like sometimes depression, like a part of it is feeling detached. But when your body is physically engaged, you're literally feeling so much stimulation in your body.
I talked about this in the last episode, the Thanksgiving one. But I got to play soccer on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And I hadn't played in years, and I was like, wow, I forgot how good I feel after a soccer game.
We should hit a yoga pose right now. We should all stand up and hit a pose.
You hit a pose. Hit a pose right now.
We invite our
Can I try what's the tree?
Tree pose.
What, a tree pose? That's the best way to do it. Oh, okay.
I don't know if I hit that right.
Like this? Is it like you're a ballerina? Okay.
I don't want to use the chair for balance, though. I want to really hit that.
Something like that. Okay.
You follow along at home.
Something like that. Okay, now we've turned into a yoga YouTube channel. What's next?
Welcome to our yoga podcast.
Now the money's gonna start coming in. Right?
Nah, our views better go way up. Yoga. We're gonna hit that.
The thumbnail will be Sean hitting the downward dog.
Whoa. I don't know about no downward dog. I don't know about none of that.
So do you think? What do you think you're right? Do you have an idea? Any ideas about what it was?
Do you have an idea of where it's coming from?
Like, you know, it's there yet or not? Not yet.
I'm still exploring what it is. I think part of it is slightly.
Is it the lonely thing about like? Is it that like?
I think the truth is with the loneliness. I think the issue with the loneliness is that I was faced with myself. I didn't have any distractions, so then I was constantly faced with this issue.
Yeah.
And I think I'm starting to think that it might be related to identity. I think I have been a particular thing. I think I want to be a slightly different thing. I think some of my actions have been conflicting with each other on where do I want to be, just like what I've been or what I want to do. Yeah. Like, I think that all is playing a part into where this rut is
that makes
coming
sense.
from.
It's a weird time in life.
Where do you want to be, and where like is it sort of like career goals thing? Is that what it is, or is it like
a big part of it is definitely career goals. I think me in my younger forms wouldn't see myself specifically here right now with what I'm doing. Obviously, like, I think on an objective level.
Yeah, because you're someone who sets a lot of concrete goals and stuff like that.
And so I think
sometimes goals are there just to be a waypoint.
Just to give a
it's
direction.
Okay if you're not at the timeline.
It's weird because I personally understand it on like a mental level, but maybe I haven't really fully accepted that emotionally.
Yeah.
You know, intellectually, yeah, like I get it. Like, everyone kind of has their own spot in life. They find where they end up. I'm here I am because of my decisions. I don't really regret anything. I don't think. Maybe I do personally. I just haven't actualized it yet. But I don't regret anything in the past. And I'm very happy with where I am right now. I'm so grateful for it. But there's definitely a disconnect happening. So I still need time with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just started exploring this concept like 8 days ago.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I think especially with the new year on the horizon, it's always a time for reflection.
It's always... I thought about that too. What if it's also a seasonal thing?
Well, I remember actually, now that you mention it, like, this is actually, you know, the second Christmas episode we've had, which is interesting because it just tells you that we've been going for a minute. And it seems like we might have our last episode, this is a side thing, going into 2024, meaning that we'd be in 2022, 2023, 2024, which is pretty crazy for the podcast, technically. Yeah. Right? That being said, last Christmas episode was called Sean Opens Up. You remember that?
Damn it! And that's crazy.
I was like, I don't know, maybe Sean just has something where he really
That's
feels
crazy,
like
you're right.
Christmas
this is literally this exact same time last year. I opened up again.
Vulnerability, winter.
It might be seasonal.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. We need to stop doing that, man.
So go check that episode out.
Damn. Yeah, plug. That's just the plug for the last episode. I'm so glad you noticed that. Because the same time last year, it was a different issue that I was exploring.
What was that one again? I remember that, but what was that episode about?
It was only audio.
I was exploring my deep issue with being used.
Oh yeah,
that's one of my.
It was like your mom told you to hold the water bottle.
Yeah, and it triggered something in me that I didn't understand where it came from.
I'm a super fan of Starbound, so I know this trivia.
Jacob be listening.
For those of you who haven't seen it, go back.
For those of you non-fans, go back and
that's how you get
play
to
the clip.
Be where I am right now.
Work your way up, man. Work your way up.
Watch all the episodes.
Don't tell Sean to hold that.
Yeah, I want. That's why I have it.
That's what he's saying because he knows.
It's on my side of the table.
Honestly,
any other guest would have just accidentally been like, "Oop."
I know. I was like, nope. Don't handle
but that was an interesting point that you brought up last Christmas. You talked about
and I actually worked through that now, where like I'm a lot more receptive to doing things for people. I don't feel the same. There's definitely part of it that's still there, but it's not as strong as it was when I first figured it out that was a problem. But yeah, there might be. This is literally the same time last year I opened up about something else that was on my mind. So
yeah.
Maybe there's a seasonal thing going on here.
That's good that you've identified it though. That's definitely the first step, and like just like the last thing you work through it. Yeah. I'm sure you'll get through this one too, and like happy to talk about it after too. You know, in the post episode.
Exactly, the post, and then we're back. Yeah. It might also be like part of it is just like Maryland being like my hometown, and then I keep coming back here and seeing everything change. There's a lot of different. That's the thing about like the mind too, like. Mm-hmm. There are big things that you can point to, but there's also so many tiny things that it's so subtle that you won't be able to notice.
Yeah. Roaming the same roads you used to roam definitely does a interesting number.
And seeing these huge differences. What's with all these biker lanes? We don't have that many bikers out here.
We were talking about this at lunch, actually, me and Kevin. Like
the biker lanes?
The environment that you're in really like makes you think of how like connect back those memories that used to be like you know like we went and ate at Pho Eatery today.
Oh, word.
And, like, that's where like the kite origin of the Kite Flyer trio was, this whole inside joke connected to theater.
Yeah.
And like when I'm not there and not home, it feels like forever ago. But sitting in Pho Eatery, it feels like it could have been like so like a year. You said it was like 6 years ago. I was like 6 years.
Yeah.
Like I think I would feel like that if I was still in New York, like or yesterday if I was in Houston. But sitting in Pho Eatery, I'm like, it can't be 6 years ago, can it? I'm like, we're like right here, you know. It's like
I know,
proximity of
it's
space makes
weird.
proximity of time.
And like it's crazy. I mean, because I obviously, you know, have been all over. We all have in the past 6 years.
We have.
But like being back in the same exact place, sometimes it's almost like you just forget like what happened in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
You're like, oh snap. Wait, I did that? And it almost feels like it's like distant. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
It really throws. I don't even know the words. The word I want to use is almost like jet lag, but like for time.
Yeah.
I mean, jet lag is actually in reference to time already, but like.
No, but on a greater scale, because every time
Like
I
a
come
time
back, I'm
warp
like,
or something?
wait, that
Time
amount
warp,
of time
yeah.
happened?
And like,
Really?
yeah, sitting in Pho Eatery today was just like going to sit in Pho Eatery every time, you know, after school or something like that.
Yeah,
So
what
it was-
grade is Jay in now?
Jay's a senior. It's Jay's last year.
In high school.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's pretty nuts.
He's
That's
as
crazy.
old as we were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just ramps up after this, right? It just gets faster. Like my brother's going, he just started middle school, telling me about like his grades and stuff, and just like
I
his
can't believe
issues in middle
Jason's
school.
in middle school.
I know.
You all know Jason. He was on the podcast.
My
like,
younger brother, Jason,
Like
the
2
coolest
episodes?
lad of all
a few
time.
episodes ago. Like
Yeah,
or
a few
two or
episodes
three,
ago.
something like that.
And he's doing a little bit of everything. He's very like outgoing right now.
Awesome.
And I'm just like, dang, like I can kind of. I remember being his age and thinking about people that were older, and then like them constantly just saying like, "Oh, you're gonna hit this point in your life," and "Oh, this and oh that." I'd be like, "Man, you'll shut up, old people." Like,
Yeah.
But now that I'm in the other chair, I'm like, "Oh yeah." It's hard for me not to like look at his life and be like, I know a little bit about everything you're gonna experience in the next like 5 years.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, I remember when we were all seniors in high school. I remember thinking, you know, like 6 and 7 years from now, Jay, like my 10-year-old brother, is gonna be like junior, senior high school.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, wow, like when that day comes, I'm an old man. And now Jay's a senior in high school, and I'm
And
like,
you're directing him in his production.
yeah, I got to
Yeah.
which I shouted out last
The shirt.
episode.
Yeah. Shout out King Lear.
And now it's officially done. So shout out King Lear. It was
That's
awesome.
crazy.
It was like the best thing ever.
Did you feel a lot of pressure?
Did I feel?
It's
a
your
lot of-
first show, right? Like.
I mean, there was a lot of pressure to get everything done. Like, I got to work with like both cast and crew, and it was awesome. It was like from getting, you know, the set done to working with lines and character and.
But it's also like this is like our birthplace. You know what I mean? Like this is WJ State. Like for us as kids, I thought of it as like legendary. So now you're like going back as like this like the adult in the room. You know what I mean? Like how's that? That has to be like I have to keep up the ideas that we had when we were doing it as like the
Like hold up the legend.
yeah, hold up the legend.
I'm also like long-term subbing, teaching English. So it's
Word.
like it's like I'm roaming the halls during the day as a teacher, and then I'm going to help with the theater program after, right?
Right.
And so the schedule's the same. Like I'm on like the break right now, like on my, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, less time. I was
it's-
like, whoa.
but
Okay.
it's like on the complete opposite end. That being said, my brother is in the shows and stuff, so Sean and I went to this camp growing up, way off Broadway. We've talked about it before. It
was a great camp while we were there.
In the camp. You know, I did it from second grade to the latest that I could do it as a camper, I think was when you were like, I want to say it was when you were 11 years old. No, 12 was the last time you could be a camper. So what is it? What age are you in like second grade? Like
8?
7, 8.
So I probably did it from like 7 to 12. That's a decent amount of time, right? Especially when you're growing up.
We're gonna talk 6 years, is a decent amount of time. Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
say so.
Sorry about that.
And then I became leader in training, which is like, you know, leads up to being staff. You get SSL hours. And while I was doing that, that's when I did more of the tech stuff because you don't act in the shows anymore, right? Sean did this too. And then Jay, my little brother,
So you've had some experience being tech. And
joined as a camper, right? And so,
Okay,
Oh,
so
you
you've
already
done
had
this
this
before.
experience.
so I worked with Jay,
This isn't even a new
right?
experience.
So this feels like the spiritual successor to Way Off Broadway.
Oh, this is the sequel.
And
I didn't even
so
realize.
I get to work with Jay again. I'm doing both cast and crew stuff, but it's also at the place that I did high school theater, and all those memories are tied in too. So
That's
it's
crazy.
awesome. And because I got to really like learn and read Shakespeare earlier in the year, and then I get to come back and do this like with my little brother and all that stuff, it's just been it's been incredible. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful.
I'm thinking
So
about
awesome.
Sean's question. Like, does it feel more pressure now or more pressure when you were an actor and when you were in high school?
That is a good question.
Or is it just different? Or...
That is a very good question. Okay. Here's what the pressure is different. The pressure is you're sitting in the audience and you are hoping that, you know, everything technically goes smoothly for one part, right?
Yeah.
And so if something doesn't go smoothly, you're like, oh my goodness, like you feel like, I hope I prepared everybody enough. That sort of thing.
Whoa!
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
That's a crazy feeling.
But I think it went fantastic. Everybody did a great job. It was incredible. King Lear is one of the hardest Shakespeare shows, if not the hardest Shakespeare show to do.
It can be dull if you're not good.
So seeing these kids, these high school kids, like go, some of them knew Shakespeare a bit already, but go from like a lot of them not having read Shakespeare at all to like mastering the hardest Shakespeare show.
That's so satisfying.
Was incredible. It's like, oh, what? And like
you get to see the whole, like, I feel like when you're an actor you're more focusing on your own progression, and you obviously get a sense of everyone else's too, which is fun, but you really got to see everyone like look like shit and then look amazing kind of.
It was, I mean, they always, you know, from the beginning you could see them, some of them getting in their mojo, but it's not like, okay, here's another part. When you're being cast in a show that's well known, a lot of the times you're going to be auditioning for a character, and then there's a lot of like, oh my gosh, I wanted this, I wanted that, da, da, da. For this show, nobody knew the characters. It's King Lear, so nobody really knows who's who. Most people like
You can really
don't know the story. So like it's a blank slate. So it's a blank
like
slate.
Shrek.
It's a blank slate in multiple ways. It's a blank slate in the fact that you're not familiar with this language, so you don't know what's happening. Meaning you don't even know if you're intrigued in the character in the first place. So during the first read-throughs, it's more so just like, what is this, right? Like, what's going on here? And like, when I read all the Shakespeare this year, I went through King Lear as one of them, and I was like, this one is so hard to read, like, comparatively to the others. Like, and I kept getting told by people that King Lear's is like one of the best to see live. And it's like really written to be performed live. And I'm like, that's so interesting, because like it was really good when I read it, but there's some stuff that it was so difficult to follow because there's so many characters. Reason being because it's like Game of Thrones. So that's what I sort of pitched it to people as. I'm like, it's like Shakespearean Game of Thrones. And a lot of it probably inspired Game of Thrones.
Of course.
So
that's probably a good way to get them interested too. That was smart.
And at first, you know, they're
That's
all reading through
it. The board game.
Yeah.
Any script ever, you know how it is. First read through, of course, it's going to be a little rough. So.
Oh, it's gonna be super rough.
And Shakespeare, it's like, who knows what's going on then? Like I told you, after I'd read like 5 of them, I read King Lear, and I still was like, what's going on here? As I was breaking down line by line, I still was like, what's going on here? So much of the time, I would just be like, hey, what does this mean?
To Mr.
And
Actors?
No, to the actors.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, it felt like the entire room was solving it together.
Right. You guys are piecing it all together.
It's not like somebody came in with this big knowledge of Shakespeare and, like, just was like, boom, boom, boom. It's like everybody worked together.
That's cool.
To learn the lines, to figure out the characters, to understand the language, to build the set, to do the lighting, to all this stuff. And so I feel like I got to, you know, really just like help out.
That's a really good feeling for you and for the actors too, because they got to like really interpret the lines how they see it and come to understand it from
personalize
them.
it.
Yeah, and it's poetry, and like he uses so many like metaphors and all that stuff that it really could be applied to so many different things. So a lot of the time it was like they could just decide if it was one thing or another thing, and you still get to decide all that stuff the backstory that isn't stated and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Can we also go back to that feeling that you had about like, you said when the tech, something in the tech goes wrong, you just hope that you prepared them enough to fix it. And I feel like that's such a weird experience to go from, because back when we were literally doing it ourselves, it wasn't that. It was, oh shit, how am I gonna how am I gonna fix this?
Right.
This thing isn't working. I gotta like make it work, you know? Like,
and Jay had like over 150 lines. So and most of them
Can't
were
catch me doing
monologues, right?
yeah,
So
I know how Shakespeare goes.
The home life is Jay and I just running lines for the whole time.
Just building
right?
up to it.
And so if I were one of the actors going on, I would be like, I hope I don't forget my lines, right? Let alone the nerves of already going on stage.
Having
which
all
you all
those
are
people
familiar
looking.
with, okay?
Yeah, it
going
can be
on stage.
intense.
And you had a hella monologues for Christmas Carol. Screwed Ebenezer right here.
Yeah, you were holding it down, bruh.
And I bet you felt the same thing, right? I mean, Jay at the end, he said, I know my lines, I'm good. By the time it was ready to go on. And I'm like, that's wild that you... And like, it was a long process, don't get me wrong. But having that many words in your brain, that must be the only thing going through your brain for like 2.5
It
hours.
really is. Yeah, it has to be.
Speak to it.
For sure. Like, I remember when I did that, that was like the most all-encompassing thing I'd ever done. Because it's like, for Scrooge, it's, I mean, every scene, it's like so many words, like you said. And you just have to like be always thinking about it. Like, I feel like it was kind of taxing because I became Scrooge a bit. Like, I had to like think in a crotchety old man mindset for so long.
Right.
It was so taxing, but it was fun. It was very worth it. Very fulfilling too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you kind of have to really immerse, and when you're like you kind of said, like when you're the actor, you're thinking about that. There is a threshold where you get to where you're very confident. But I'm sure as a director now, it's like more of a broad view. Like you're no longer just thinking about yourself. You're now like, oh, like you're now nervous for everyone to remember their lines. You know, you're now nervous.
Yeah, and that's so crazy.
It's
that like
it's like crew, cast, like but I trusted.
Yeah.
Like I was able to sit back and watch all 4 shows
so satisfying,
and have a blast every single
do you
time.
feel
It
a
was
sense of
awesome.
like
I was so lucky.
pride almost that like you're basically giving them the show? It's like it's not yours. It's like it's for them. You know, to put on, to run it, and like.
I mean, I feel like it was so.
It's
cool.
kind of like it's almost like being a parent and watching your kid like go to college. It's like you're giving
Definitely.
it's their life now.
It was
it's
like,
not yours.
It was like game time.
That's
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying? It was like game time. It was like, all right,
That was crazy.
all right, practice is over, game time.
Game time.
And then like after that, it was just like it was so cool to sit back and watch. It really was. I'm so like honored that I got to do it, and I had such a
That is
blast.
cool. Sometimes I do wish like in the shows that I was in, I would have liked to like be able to watch them. It's fun to perform, but it's also like I wish I could like be simultaneously in the audience and then.
Dude, that was
It
me for
depends
Mary
on the
Poppins.
Because like I mean, yeah.
To this
right?
day, I
So,
wish I could be in the audience and experience that music, bro. Because we went stupid.
Yeah.
That's
God.
the thing, man. I mean, so for this show, they didn't have a double cast. They were double cast, meaning there was 2 characters per role. Or sorry, 2 actors per role, and they would switch off nights. Jacob and I did this for Mary Poppins, and yes, sir. And the thing was that because it's such a big musical, we were ensemble / bank chairman for our off nights. So we were still on the stage doing a bunch of dances and all that stuff. But for the plays, there's sometimes not as big of an ensemble. So you don't need like extra people dancing in the background. Meaning sometimes you don't get a double, like if you're a double cast, you just get a completely off night.
Oh.
So you do nothing.
So was Jay.
So Jay was able to watch
That's
with
cool.
me 2 of the nights.
That is cool.
Yeah, and then the other cast was able to watch.
That's so fun.
Yeah, so it was really cool because like they also got to watch the work.
That's
get done
nice.
By their so I thought that was nice, but I gotta say I loved doing the dances in Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Those nights were basically as hectic as the on nights, if not more hectic, because I had like 5 costume
maybe
changes.
more hectic. Yeah.
Yeah, and doing Step in Time and Jolly Holiday and all that stuff was a blast.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
I also,
Great
speaking of just like looking at like passing on torches and stuff like that, my brother just had his winter concert He's in the percussion section in his concert band in middle school.
That's what I'm talking about.
And that was a very trippy experience. Because usually, like, me and my brother have so much distance in our ages that I don't see him do things and think, oh, when I did things. But
it's starting to happen.
It's starting to happen now where, like, I remember certain experiences and I'm like, dang, I was literally right there.
Yeah.
Right in that back room at the snare drum. And so I'm just seeing it and him perform and, like, his sound, and he sounds so good. And he's like, I can tell you, like, really, he internalizes the music in a certain way that, like, I miss being in, like, a band and we play songs.
You can join the USC band maybe if you want.
I honestly was even considering joining the USC drumline.
Yeah,
it's just like,
sir.
I know at this point now, we're at such a technical level where, like, whatever I do, I kind of have to, like,
Really commit
to it.
Right.
You know, I put my full effort, where back then it's kind of like we're just still trying things and it doesn't have to be so clean.
It becomes super intensive. Like, it already is in high school. I mean, you're still spending so many hours doing that stuff, but, like, then it becomes...
No, I think he actually, honestly, but I was questioning it for a while after seeing my brother do it. I'm like, you know, I think I there's something in me that says, like, I'm not done yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sound so cheesy, but after seeing him do that, I'm like, nah, there's still a song in me that, like, I gotta get back to the drums.
I love the feeling of being re-inspired about art and art different forms of expression. Like, I feel like whenever I see a good movie, I get re-interested in, like, movies or something. Or whenever I read a good book, I'm like, oh, I want to write a book or something. I have the same feeling.
Play a good board game.
Or if I see, or play a good board game or something. I want to, like,
You just get, like, this itch. It's like, I gotta go.
That happens for when I see performances too. Like I'm seeing a play later with my family. I'm sure it'll be like I remember whenever I do see a play, because I don't do all these things like all the time. It always breathes life back into the interest. I know that feeling.
Yeah. So I was looking at my brother do it. I'm like, wow, like, I'm excited for whatever he wants to, because right now he's doing a lot of different things. He's a basketball player, you know. He wants to do coding. Like, right now, career wise, he's interested in computer coding.
He
wants to do music. He's in 6th grade.
Wow.
Man's in 6th grade saying I want to do coding.
That's the thing. No, like, he is just raw potential.
Look at him go, man.
Raw potential. So I'm like, yo, for this Christmas, I got him like a couple different sticks. I got him a stick bag. I'm like, bro, like, you're about to start your percussion section, like, journey. You might be exploring drumline in the future, jazz. I don't know. You might not explore any of it. But, like, if you ever need somebody to, like, you know, help you find where you want to go, I'm there, bro. I'm ready. I'll be the Obi-Wan.
That he has an older brother that can teach him the ways.
Exactly. And we were clean back in the day. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We were clean.
You know what I got?
The
Jay?
percussion section. That's our origin.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that is the start of our.
Oh yeah.
Wait, no.
Well, like, basically, yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right.
Like, we met, but like that's how we first.
I think we really got
had
together
more
in that
face-to-face
percussion
time
section.
in that percussion section.
And then you joined choir your last semester.
Yeah,
we both
conflict
did.
with band. Yeah,
Train up
we rejoined
for Poppins.
Yeah.
You
were
know
all
what I
brought
got
together by the arts.
Jay for Christmas?
Wow.
A copy of King Lear.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if he would love you or hate you for that.
Oh,
It sounds like a troll gift.
It's like the 18th copy in his house now. Yeah, I just thought it'd be funny.
Yeah. It's a good gag.
Yeah, he was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the next thing I want to see after performing King Lear is another copy of the fucking.
Oh,
book,
trust me,
man.
it's not. I read that thing, like, I've read it way too many times now, man. Marked up the script, and that's not a short play to mark up. Like, every time we ran through it, it took so long.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you just got another one? I bet you know it through and through now, like word for word, bar for bar.
It's not quite like that, but I can recite many lines.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, man. Anyway, we'll talk about some more fun stuff.
Yeah.
What else is going on this Christmas? Hey,
how was
surprisingly,
this time?
this whole time.
So, should we? I'm gonna have to dip.
Oh, is it time?
Soonish.
Time to wrap
maybe
up.
Like 10 minutes.
Let me end with this one thing.
Yeah.
This is the first Christmas ever where I was able to duck the Mariah Carey song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever.
You didn't hear it?
Not once.
I'm impressed.
Not
All I want
once,
for Christmas is
man.
you.
I work in Times Square, and there's a huge billboard of her next to my office. I saw it every day.
Oh my
Like,
God.
she's on a Victoria's Secret ad campaign or something right now.
And it's no hate because it's a great song, but it's like, man, I'm tired of hearing you. I'm so tired. Like, that song makes Christmas Time feels so what's the word? Routine.
Wait a second.
You know?
How was New York as you were leaving for the holidays? Was it nuts?
Oh wait, yeah, that's a good point.
I left on the 18th, I think.
Still ramping up though, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a very festive time. William, my friend, was there. He went to the whole Santa con.
Is it
thing.
snowing over there? What's up?
Santa Con?
There's like a Santa con thing, like a big like I didn't go, but William did. It's a sort of like touristy type of like thing where a bunch of people come and dress up. It's like a huge bar crawl where everyone dresses as Santa and stuff like that.
That sounds like a plot in like a Santa movie where like real Santa gets lost amongst.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
fake
He would
Santas.
definitely get lost.
That might actually be a
cool.
thing.
An
now that
elf.
I think about it.
It's probably
Gets in a bar fight with like a
Yeah,
bunch of Santa
yeah,
Clauses.
Right.
Hey, that's a
Anyway,
great idea.
keep
I'm gonna have
going.
to write that
it's
down.
nice, you know. Yeah.
Anything else? Was there like a lot of snowflakes? Ooh, was
I
there?
don't remember if it snowed too much yet. I don't think it has.
I want to say that
like,
Emmy and Kaylee went
It like
to New
flurried.
York.
It flurried a bit, but it hasn't really started snowing yet. I think it'll be more like January.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it snowed
Yeah.
here like one day,
Yeah.
but I think Emmy and Kaylee went one year. I remember it was during film. It was like our senior year, I think, to go and celebrate. Like they weren't
Like
there to
Rockefeller
celebrate
Center,
New
like the
Year's
tree
Eve.
or something.
No. They were in like the background shots for the New Year's Eve
Oh.
celebration.
They
Like,
went to the ball
filmed-
drop. They went to the ball drop.
No, they filmed some of it ahead of time apparently.
I remember.
So they
this
just
story,
happened to be there, yeah, and then they like gotten some of the extra shots
that's
because like
funny.
they film most of it live,
Yeah.
but when like they're not gonna have their cameramen like drowning in heads,
Yeah.
so like they'll shoot that stuff
That's
like
funny,
a
yeah.
few days ahead.
Clever.
If it's snowing, that'd be difficult though, because like how could you predict that? So then if you like have the shot of it
Uh-huh.
snowing and you cut up,
Maybe just shoot under like balconies or something.
I wonder how much they do. Like it's a big event that they put on.
That is a
I guess,
huge
so
event.
I wonder.
Anyway, we should probably wrap this up. We all got places to be, people to see.
Well, we covered a lot of ground. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
A lot of great ground. I feel like we covered. I was like, are we gonna talk about like real shit or bullshit today? And I feel like we got a good amount of both. You know what I mean?
I'm more of a real shit guy, so
I can tell you're a real shit man. I respect
But I
that.
appreciate
Well, let's get some bullshit.
inviting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate the invite. I'm honored to be on the podcast.
Thank you for joining
Great to
us.
have you.
Yeah.
I
Thank
feel
you
like
for
it's
being with
past
us.
due having you officially on the podcast
Yeah.
for full time.
Face
It
and
was-
and mind, all that
I'm
shit.
still processing it. You know, I'm gonna have to do some reflecting, just like Sean. But mine will be about like, whoa, like what did I go through just now? You know? Where will my life go after this? Same identity stuff. You know, like I just peaked. You know, like what's after Starbound? You know,
Well, yeah, that's
I'm only
this is the highest
groundbound
high.
now.
This is the highest
Groundbound
high.
after
man.
Starbound.
What do you
Unfamiliar
do?
with podcasts, right? Like we did University. We did a
That's true,
rights
that's
the rights
true.
tape.
I guess
episode.
I'll just be on your guys' next podcast.
Yeah.
We'll have
I'm
another
there'll be
podcast
another.
out at some
That's true. That's
point.
true.
What's your take
That's
on them
true.
though?
We can't
do,
shut up,
Do you
so-
like do you like being on podcasts? You find it too much to talk?
No, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Just
That's
casual
fine.
chat with the homies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very casual. I just feel like we'd be talking about this shit anyway. It's just like this gives
So
us an
why not
excuse to
record
like,
it? Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Except
Exactly.
then we're like, a little bit more, giving a little bit more attention to the microphone.
Sure. I will say
close
this is
to
the
home.
one thing, and I'm glad that our podcast is slowly. This is gonna sound weird. TMZ, just clip it. I'm glad this podcast is ending soon because
I'm tired of seeing you.
I know. I knew it was gonna sound crazy when I said it, but because sometimes I feel like I'll hold off a conversation with you so that we can have it on the pod.
I know.
And I'm like,
know. It
Do you
really,
do that too?
Yeah, because we'll be like, oh, that's good. Save it for the podcast, and that's
We've
why I'm
done
like,
that.
okay, a year's worth of podcast is great. 52, put it
Yeah.
on the books. I love it.
Exactly.
But like, sometimes I'm like, dang, I wish I had more personal conversations.
I know. I wish we could just like share just like
I
us and our
know.
life.
Yeah,
Like
without
after this
the-
podcast ends, we'll like I'm curious
Nah,
to
this
see how
one's
that transition
private. So
will
the
be.
first 10 viewers, we're making it private after that. So
Everybody
get your
else,
views in now.
sorry.
Yeah, we're unlisting the video.
Just for us, man. But no, I'm excited to see that transition after this pod of like what are our conversations like? Because we can't save it for a pod anymore. We'll just like we'll just have them. I don't know.
Yeah, they'll be in the vault, man. They'll be vaulted so people can see.
That's true. Vaulted conversation.
You know,
We'll continue to record every conversation that we have.
It'll be a long time documented. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time documentary. Anyway, let's wrap this shit up, man. Tired of you guys.
I'm excited for the next chapter, whatever it'll be, you know?
It will be
Maybe
a
the
very
next
exciting
podcast,
time.
you know, this one's open-ended, so maybe you feel like you have to save conversations for this, but maybe if the next one has a more, like, focused topic, you won't have to feel like that or something. Because it's like, oh, that's where we talk about this specifically, so you don't have to feel like, oh, save that for the
How about, like,
Well, our next
socks?
one's gonna be like,
Socks, maybe?
can we talk for an hour and a half about socks?
Yeah. Maybe we should start a sock company and document the whole process.
That's
you're wearing some on your hands right now.
Dude, everybody, I wear socks
talking
most
about?
of the time. I think are we all wearing socks right now?
I'm wearing socks. Let's see if I can take
Everyone,
this.
who doesn't love socks? Anyway, on that note, cheers to the new year.
Cheers to the new year.
Merry Christmas.
Merry fucking Christmas, you bunch of sick animals. And we'll catch
Merry
you
Christmas.
on the next episode of the Starbound podcast. The last one?
No, I think we have two more.
Whatever. Whatever it is whatever it is.
Something like that.
Happy 50th Starbound.
Exactly. I'm your host, King Kudjo.
Cough drippy.
Jacob.
2 chains.
Peace. You gotta have your outro, Jacob.
You gotta do your thing. I'd be like,
something cool. Whoa!
he just ascended life. he just risen. Like Jesus Christ before him just re-rises.
Oh wow.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.